It is said in the name of Rabbi Bar Chana that he told this particular merchant, "Come, let me show you where heaven and earth kiss. There I will show you where you will derive your parnasa from, your livelihood." As it says, "Matzah isha matzah tov yapek ratzon me'Hashem," that if you go and reach that place, you will find favor from Hashem, and that will extract your parnasa directly from above. So Rabbi Bar Chana was telling this merchant a secret of some sort. But what does it exactly mean where heaven and earth meet? How is that connected to the Sukkah, the beautiful booths that we dwell in for 7 days? This is the connection. It's an amazing idea that the Gemara discusses. Where do we learn the minimum size of a sukkah that has to be 10 tefachim or 10 handbreadths? So one opinion says, well, because that's how low the Shekhinah, the divine presence, came down at Mount Sinai when the Jewish people received the Torah. Another opinion says that was the height of the Kruvim, the wings of the cherubs on top of the ark, the holy ark. Whatever the case may be, actually, it's a halacha l'Moshe Sinai, a law attributed to Moses at Mount Sinai, that the minimal size of the sukkah has to be 10 tefachim. But perhaps there's a connection between these two midrashim, Rabbi Bar Chana, and the minimum size of the sukkah and one's parnasa. While we're dwelling in the sukkah gives us this or makif, this surrounding light, as if to say, the Shemaim is coming down to Aretz, that God is coming down here to our earthly endeavors, our existence, to bring us bracha, to give us a blessing. And it's all there. Right after Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, we go out, we show our emunah in God, because after all, that's what Parnas is all about. The livelihood that we have, it all comes from God's great arms and outstretched hand. But there's another thought. It is said in the name of the Nikolsburg Rebbe, I've been citing him recently, he says wonderful insights, of a story told between a rabbi and a professor. They had this great relationship years ago. The professor was very secular, had all this scientific knowledge, but he has a fascination with the Bible. So he asked the Rebbe, everything you've explained to me about your Torah has made a lot of sense. But these things about these sukkah booths, and why you commemorate because the clouds of glory came and encircled the Jewish people, where did they come from, these miraculous clouds? So he said, I'll explain that to you. Well, the idea is that when the Jewish people left Egypt, each Jew, each Israelite had accepted to afford kindness to the next one to the other. They made this covenant of peace, this covenant of chesed, of kindness. It's also known that where a person is, a person can detect the very energy that's coming in. If, for instance, you come into a place where everybody is depressed, everybody's angry, it's as if you say that the atmosphere is poisoned and you could cut it with a knife, it's so thick and negative. Same thing goes when you come to a place where there is positivity. You say, well, there's good vibes in that place. So the rabbi explained in the language that was apropos for their milieu, that's the same thing that happened in Egypt. Because of all those Jewish people were loving each other and doing chesed for each other, they created the clouds themselves. They created that positive energy, and that coalesced together to make these wonderful, miraculous clouds to protect them. There's nothing greater, no greater force than that. Our sukkah, when we sit together, we sit in unity. And it says when the Jewish people are truly in unity, they can exist on the edge of a knife. So too, our parnasa comes from the side of this unity and this beauty of achdus that we have in Klal Yisrael, between husband and wife, between a neighbor and his friend, and between each Jew and Klal Yisrael. So let's think about that when we sit in the sukkah. That is really the Anania Kavod, the glory of the Jewish people is these clouds that we create ourselves, where heaven and earth meet, and we can be mapek ratzon me Hashem and extract all this beautiful ratzon directly from God, where our parnasa, our livelihood, should flow with great mazel and bracha.